Yeah, hi everybody. Hans Martini here, and now how sewing essentials. Today in this video we will show you how you get the most out of your long arm or quilting machine. Long arms on frames, quilting machines on domestic machines on frames, threads and things. So the session today we will cover how you get the most out of your quilting machine. Quilting machine is totally different to a domestic machine or a normal use machine or industrial machines. Like we have industrial machines here. Industrial machines, they mainly straight sewers. They have a feed hooks down the bottom, a needle goes in, and so they have to be timed, and there's a lot more wear and tear parts than on a quilting machine. A quilting machine on the frame is basically your bobbin case, which we will go in more details later on. It has a bobbin case and a needle, and top and bottom tension is very fine adjusted. So there are a lot of other machines which will be using for quilting machines, like domestic machines on frames, like domestic machines not on frames with the bigger throat space, like the beautiful Janome M7 Continental here. You know, we have machines with big throat space. For quilting machines we have like the Bernina 790, also big throat machine. What we're using that at the moment here is like a also embroidery machine. Then of course we have your Bernina's 570. So and yeah, then of course also the sit-down machines, which you sit down on the machines like the Berninas have and a few other brands have. And then of course we have the Longarm machines on frames, which I have a selection of them here. I have the beautiful Nolting here. I got a Bernina Q20 on the frame there, on a classic frame. I got a Nolting Diamond 24 here. If you're following us, you probably see a few different machines or the same machines in different versions. What we have here is the Unique 21-inch Elite machine, the latest and the best machine on the market. But this is in instructional tutorial how to get the most out of your long arm. It's not a selling. If you are inquiring for machines, of course we like to be able to send you a quote on the different pricing on the new machines what we have here, and we can help you with all of that as well. Again, what we got that much stuff here, so I'd like to show you just a little bit of stuff. The more stuff what we got here, everything is on casters, so you can move it around. Here we have a domestic machine like a Bernina 820 domestic machine on a frame as well, like we have the Janome there at the front. So what I want to show you is, if you are in the market or if you already own a long arm machine, what to do to get the most out of your long arm machines. There's quite a different sort of quilting machines, like this domestic machine. When you got your quilt on, you have to put a different stitch plate on and different hopping foot on, so the feed hooks don't move your fabric, but they're still moving internally when you're running the machine. So basically, as you can see here, we have, is that on? I will turn that on. So as you say, you should have always a good pair of tweezers, some old toothbrushes, a nice soft brush, and there's always in any machine a lot of fluff in there. Of course you're gonna clean that out when you change your bobbin, but as you can see, there's a lot of fluff. We do sell those little dust busters, we call them. We do sell them. They're very easy to operate and to clean out your machines. So when you change your bobbin, take that out. Make sure that in the bobbin case there's no fluff around there. You can go in, I've seen a lot of people go in with a brush or a screwdriver or a pin to clean all of that out. The pin will scratch or probably reposition. As you can see, all this fluff blows out. The pin will not get all the things out what blows it out. The pin will probably reposition your little spring in there, and that may cause us trouble. So you put your bobbin case back in, make sure you got a threaded right, and put it in your machine. Make sure that clicks in, as you heard the click. That clicks in. Put your needle plate back on, and yeah, give it a good clean, a drop of oil, and make sure that you change your needle every 8 hours of sewing. Make sure you got the right size needle, the most genuine needles, the MR needles. Depends on what machine you have. A better needle, a better quality needle gives you a better, definitely a nicer stitch. I've seen some really cheap and nasty needles sold at some mass merchants, and the needle doesn't have the quality and the fabrication standards like a good quality needle has. A needle should supposed to have a scarf on the back. All domestic machine needles basically have a flat on the back, the groove up the front. But if you don't have a quality needle, there are some really cheap ones out there. Most quilters, they are very proud of themselves and their quilting machine, so they spend the quality and they spend the money to get a good accessories and good ingredients, basically, if you're cooking, and the same with the needles. So you get a good quality needle, and of course the good quality thread. We here at Know How have the full range of the Wonderful threads. We also have the Inspira threads, the finesse threads, the confetti, the Fabulax, the master quilted, the Ultima, and Madeira threads are nice as well. They haven't been seen on the shows lately, but finesse threads, they come in smaller reels. They got a nice cotton look, but a polyester coring. So yeah, it really matters a lot what you're choosing, what ingredients you're putting into the quilt. Of course, your wadding matters, your fabric matters. If you got batting fabrics, the needle should be different. I can go on and on and on forever with this, but what we're covering is pretty much how to get the most out of your quilting machine. Yes, again, is the ingredients. Make sure that when you are on the machine, lots of machines now have horizontal tablets on it, independent tablets, like we have on the new Grace machine here as well. The older Grace machines had just a little touch screen, which you operate by handles, and that it comes on, start, stop. Nothing wrong with that. If that's all you want, that's pretty much very easy to maintain. A little wipe and make sure that the screen is on properly. So the other machines now are coming to a bigger screens, so more visual on what your settings are and things. And they have the touch screen. They have a little stylus up the back, so you can use the stylus. You can set your different settings. So yeah, it's a bigger screen. You still use your handles to do so, A lot of machines have now the different handle adjustments, individual, in, out, left, right. You can have all of that. Make sure that this is all working on your machine, that you know that you got this option on your machine, and you put yourself, when you start quilting, to get the best out of your machine, that you are in a really nice position. Your machine handles supposed to be, depends, I don't know what height your frame is set, but it should have, when you're quilting, it should give you here of your arm a nice 45 degree. So if I have this too low and I quilt like this, I lose control. If I have this too high or too out, then I'm gonna drive like a rabbit and concentrating too much. You have to have this relaxed, like when you're talking. This is quite a relaxed position of your machine. So that's when you're getting the most out of a machine. Machine quick maintenance would be, some machines you cannot get into the machine, and some other machines yes you can. Here what we have, can open the machine. You have your take-up lever, like on a lot of domestic machines and the older ones. You could open the side thing, you could change your light globe. Here we got LED, so you don't have to change your light globe. But here you can actually make sure that you have no thread cord in there, that all your fluff can be blown out as well. Here is your take-up lever. Make sure that this is all smooth and everything. You can say that this is, it all looks nothing too dry, nothing too oily. You can see it all nicely in there. And of course we have our needle up and down position here on the screen. We have a needle up and down position here, and on the handles, depends again on what model, what manufacturer, what brand you have. But also make sure that your needle plate, everything is right. Your needle is in the center of your foot. If you put this down, you say that's nicely in the center of the foot. Sometimes the hopping foot is too high, too low, that the hopping foot, when it hits the plate, there's supposed to be a clearance. We got gauges for that kind of thing, but the size of a business card would be just perfect. You see, here's the gauge, the hopping foot gauge. When the needle is down all the way, that hopping foot gauge should slide under it very nicely and firmly. The hopping foot can be adjusted. I'm sure that every one of you has a manual or instructional manual, so you can, some are screwed in, some are just a screw on the side and slide up and down. They can be screwed in, adjusted. If that hopping foot is too high and the hopping foot doesn't press your quill down, your work down, it will skip stitches. It's got nothing to do with the timing, it's got nothing to do with the tension. If the hopping foot doesn't hold your fabric down, when the needle comes through, and the needle will flex, and then it will not pick up, the hook cannot pick up the stitch, and then it will skip stitches. We have, I'll show you that on the other machine in a minute. But again, what I said earlier, the Grotzbecker needles are a genuine needle, which are manufactured by a German company, Albstadt-Ebingen. You guys don't want to repeat it too often. It's called Grotzbecker Albstadt-Ebingen. Yeah, it's made in Germany. So they come in different sizes, of course. The MRs, the 4 or the 3.5s, they're the really, really good, or probably the most common needles. There are some copies out there which the packaging looks very similar. DB5, size 1600. Yeah, similar needle. It's not the MR, but it's yeah. probably not the best needles. Some they get them when you depends where you buy them. I don't know in the States, but here in Australia you should get most the common and the nice needles. We can go into accessories, but then we probably be spending too much time of our valuable time on how to get the most out of it. Of course, there are ruler bases and rulers and lots of things to go with it as well. They are different. Each quilter should have a pair of snips. I've seen lots of people have the little snips hanging here. They are the little snips, you have to have them handy. They're the little finger snips, what I call them. You lock them into your finger and you cannot lose them while you're snipping off your threads. Or you got the nice, what we used to call the old embroidery scissor with a round. They are round, so you can get nice and close to the thread and snip it off. That's why they were called the embroidery scissors. The embroidery scissors also mean that you have, I'll show you quickly, on the bigger Bernina machines here, or quilting machines, the embroidery scissors, if you really want to snap this thread here, you see you can go nice and tight in there, clip him, and you got him. So yeah, a good pair of clips, a good pair of tweezers, some really nice tweezers which you can get. You can take this nicely out as well. Bernina's got them, Jack has got them, but some really nice grippy tweezers and snips, of course. I'll show you a few things here on the Bernina machine and on the sit-down machine, the same as on a frame machine. You have, what have we got here? Bernina 20 Q20. Bernina has the nice certificate who put this machine together. This is the guy called Fabio, and I've been to the Bernina factory and been trying to talk to him. He was not available at the factory at the time. It was summertime and he had a couple of days off. Again, here with the Bernina machine, quilting machines in different ways. This opens this way, other machines may not open up at all. Here you can go in with a little air and blow things out. When we're saying blowing things out, we actually blowing things towards the outside. Yes, I know I'm blowing this out down to the bottom into it, but in the bottom here we have all the, this machine hasn't been used, it's since I last serviced it, but this can be nicely cleaned. With Bernina, the BSR is quite important to have them cleaned. Have your put a drop of oil into the moving parts. So when you say where the hook turns, then you put a drop of oil exactly into where the hook comes behind the needle. That has to be lubricated, and so you can turn that. You can see what's happening here. All the movable parts, they need to be lubricated. They would have to be moist with oil, so nothing wears out or nothing starts squeaking. And so that's, of course, your needle plate. Your needle plates in here, they have to be nice and firm, nice and polished. No, if you've broken a needle, mainly the needle would hit something before it breaks and it leaves a little bit of a mark sometimes. Make sure that that is nicely polished or filed away. So when you put your needle plates on this particular machine, it's a clip on. You clip that on, okay, and then you can clip this off. A lot of other machines, most of them are a screw on, so you can line this up. Again, here, this is a timing gauge. Some suppliers supply that with the machine. Some manufacturers supply that with the machine. If not, they can be purchased afterwards. A timing gauge, you can put this timing gauge in, and then you put a timing gauge in. That's also your needle height, needle bar height. When you say that, then you can say, okay, that's my needle bar height. And then when my hook comes behind the needle right there, then you turn this needle timing gauge, and then the needle should scratch on the timing gauge here. So that's pretty much a gauge which you can adjust it with, or a gauge which you can test it with. Depends which way you want it. Of course, you have your bobbins, they go in the M-size bobbins, and most machines have M-size bobbin now. I know there's some older machines, or they have the L-size bobbins, which are the less bobbins, the smaller. L for less, M for more in the bobbins. Of course, there's some gauges out there which you, again, this is a gauge to adjust your tension, and if you got your tension right on your machine, you're not wasting much time. As soon as your tension is fixed, you can adjust this. So you put the tension gauge in there, and then adjust this, and that should read about, well, this is actually loose, this should read about the 200, yeah, like that. It should read it like that, and then when you got that around 200, you can snap. It's got a cutter here. The Bernina have their own name on them, but in the trade that's called a TOVA gauge. A lot of other manufacturers don't have them, but we sell them, and the TOVA gauge, they come again in the M-size bobbins or in the L-size bobbins. You adjust your bottom tension correct to around the 200, what I've just done. Then your tension is pretty much set, and then you only have to adjust your top tension to it. So you put your bobbin case in, go for the click, close that, clip your needle plate on, make sure all the holes line up before you click it back in, like that. And some machines have a needle threader, like this one here. Bernina one, in my belief, is the only one so far on the market with a needle threader. Yeah, bobbin winder here, nice hand wheel here. A lot of other machines to have put your needle up and down, it's here when the machine is switched off. When the machine is on, the needle comes up electronically, the same with this here. But the Noltings, as an example, a lot of other machines, Noltings, Scammels, APQSs, they have a hand wheel here. So when you work here, you have your thumb here on the other hand, and you can turn your needle up and down on that. Again, here we have a nice bobbin case as well, and the beautiful Nolting diamond. It's an M-size bobbin. It's a metal bobbin with the 8 holes. Got some nice variegated thread on it. This has been used at the last show, so yeah, it has some fluff and things on it. It's threaded correct. Again, you make sure. What you can do also, if you haven't got a TOVA gauge, if you have a full bobbin threaded up, and the bobbin should stand up in your hand, and do the spider, what I'm trying this bobbin case. In this brand, it fall out, but it will come from lying down. It will stand up, and then it will do the spider. It will run out of your hand like a spider. And then you got your bobbin tension right. But yes, you can do it with toba gauge, it's more exact. You put your bobbin case in. You straight click it if your machine is not on. Yeah, it's always good to give the machine one revolution, one turn, and thread it up. So yeah, we got quite a lot of machines here with the lights, with the handles, with things which you can do. Quickly, that was in the half an hour session which we have today. A quick introduction and demonstration how you get the most out of your quilting machines, out of your quilting machine, a domestic frame, sit down. Thanks for logging in, thanks for watching us at these events, and keep on watching and follow us at Know How Sewing Essentials and the Grace Quilting Products. We have a lot of machines here, as you can see. Know How Sewing Essentials, we have demo stock, and thank you for watching, and enjoy your quilting. Thank you, bye bye.